what I did to this, and you'd be terrified.
Amy commissions fanfic on Tumblr of her and Paul Rudd together.
There's tons of it on there already. I hate it.
So, welcome to the Everyone's a Critic Movie Review Podcast 1993. I'm professional film critic Sean Patrick. With me is Amy Kay.
Hola.
And MJ.
Hello.
We're talking about a movie called Three of Hearts. It came out this weekend 30 years ago. Tawny Kitane's in this movie.
Tawny Kitane's in this movie. The most important star of our time. Not Jurgen.
She plays the character Girl in Bar.
Girl in Bar.
Now,
my favorite role.
Tawny Kitane. I know this is such a weird way to start this show because this has nothing to do with the movie. Because she's barely, like, you made a joke that the woman in the bar looked like Tawny Kitane. And then the credits hit and they listed
Tawny Kitane
Woman in Bar.
Woman in Bar. And by the way,
Now,
she stole the scene for me, really.
We know who that is.
Right.
Like, we grew up knowing who that is. We saw her in Bachelor Party. We saw her in the music video for Round and Round from Rat.
Right.
Like, she was
Two Whitesnake videos.
She was the Whitesnake lady. She was, even after not making it as an actor, like, she remained relevant, at least in, like, gossip columns. Like,
totally.
she dated OJ right before the trial.
Right.
For, like, a year before he killed his wife.
Yeah.
He was dating Tawny Kitane.
Well, let's be honest. She dated a lot of fucking people like that.
What she fell in love with and married a pitcher for the California Angels at the time. They were the California Angels.
Oh, sure.
Chuck Finley. And they had this, like, really bizarre relationship where, like, they appeared naked together in, like, Sports Illustrated's nude issue.
I did not know that.
Yeah. They do, like, a tastefully nude issue of Sports Illustrated.
I think all nude is tasteful, but that's just me.
It's like, you can tell that they're nude, but you're, like, you can't see the bits.
The naughty bits. Not the naughty bits.
It's okay if there's no nipple. I don't know if you know that.
I disagree, but okay.
If we see the nipple, suddenly, shut it all down!
Women.
Hang on a
their
minute.
Nipples. Because men don't have them.
I think men, if they see nipples, they become a baby immediately, and...
You know, it's funny you should say that, because if we seg right back around here, the real star of this film, Billy Baldwin's nipples.
Oh.
Harder than fucking could cut glass. Those damn things. Surprisingly, could see them through the sheets of hair.
They have to cut their way through that mat of Robin Williams-like hair.
Bring in your katana. Free the nipple.
I just wanted to say that, like, just finishing the Tawny Kitane thought, because we become obsessed with this. Did you ever see her film debut?
No, I didn't.
MJ, you'll be part of the conversation eventually.
Just stay with us,
because
okay?
you've never heard of any of this. You have no idea what we're talking about. Yeah. You have no context for who Tawny Kitane is.
No, that's okay.
That's fine. Tawny Kitane was a very large figure.
Yeah. I mean, even if you say her name now, like, especially people, like, older than, 35, they know who Tawny Kitane is.
Nathan Rabin, who is the best pop culture writer on the planet,
right.
Everybody needs to read his stuff, has done an entire series on her entire filmography.
I had no idea.
He did.
Holy
it's
shit.
Incredible, and just very absurd. I don't think he included this movie.
I'm ready.
Because I don't think you do. No, I'm talking about Three of Hearts.
Oh, Three of Hearts.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
No, Tawny Kitane's debut film is a film. I'm not making this title up. The Perils of Gwendolyn in the Land of Yik Yak.
First of all, why didn't Mystery Science Theater pick this one up? Secondly, it sounds like a children's show.
I do believe I watched this to see if she was naked in it. I do believe sometime after Bachelor Party, I saw this movie on Cinemax, and I'm like, is she naked in it? And I don't remember if she was or not. But
you're a fucking perv.
I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we all wanted to see it. But can you...
So I'm going to give you now how this movie, The Perils of Gwendolyn in the Land of Yik Yak, ends.
Okay.
This is the ending of the movie. While Gwendolyn and Willard make love before the Queen, Darcy activates the volcano, and he, the Queen, and the citizens of Picaho are killed as Gwendolyn, Beth, and Willard escape in the process. Willard is able to capture the elusive butterfly.
The elusive butterfly.
The elusive.
That is the Wikipedia ending of this movie.
Okay, but now it's like, do I want to see it because of this butterfly, or because
Yes.
Tawny Katane is it? Yeah, I think the
butterfly.
butterfly, the elusive
The
butterfly.
elusive butterfly was apparently the plot driver for the entirety of The Perils of Gwendolyn in the Land of Yik Yak.
Tawny Katane.
Yeah.
What a legend. What a star.
And blink and you'll miss her in this piece of shit movie we watched this week.
Exactly.
She, again, so to the movie we're actually talking about is called Three of Hearts. And it stars Billy Baldwin's chest hair and
As a very prominent star of the film.
Billy Baldwin's chest hair is in this. Kelly Lynch's do-rag is in this as Axl Rose.
As Axl Rose, that's right.
And Sherilyn Fenn is in the movie as Brooch.
Just because you like that brooch doesn't mean
It's a
that's...
very large brooch. It's
Right.
an incredibly large brooch. It's a scene-stealing brooch.
Actually, it was the star of that scene, wasn't it? It's really big.
Sherilyn Fenn and Kelly Lynch are a couple. Sherilyn Fenn and Kelly Lynch are a couple.
Right.
They are breaking up. Sherilyn Fenn is done. She's breaking up with her.
She's over it.
So, Kelly Lynch hires Billy Baldwin, who's a sex worker, to go with her to her sister's wedding, because she doesn't want to go alone.
Right.
He's a huge hit. Everybody loves him, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't know that he's been hired by a lesbian. So, he's, trying to seduce her, I guess. Or
Yeah.
but then she does resist him. And then she decides, you know what? I should hire you to break my girlfriend's heart so that she'll want to swear off men forever and come back to me.
It's such a juvenile premise, isn't it? Like, I swear to God, I wrote stories like that back when I was 15.
Like,
That'll
are
work.
they teenagers?
Yeah.
In adult bodies.
What's weird about this film is that out of everything, I found Kelly Lynch's character to be the most engaging. I probably liked her the best out of everybody,
Aside from the do-rags, yes.
aside from the Axl Rose do-rag.
The lesbian do-rag.
The lesbian do-rag.
That's how the movie explains what lesbianism is.
and leather jackets, don't forget that, too. Leather jackets and, yeah, do-rags. All those dykes back in the 90s, it's all they wore. It's just, it doesn't make... that's so... It's untrue, because there were... I mean, we saw lipstick lesbians back then. We would see the butch ones. It's like not in the wild. They're not like the elusive butterfly that is a lesbian back then. I took offense to that. Like, to me, it's just like, I don't think that's just not bespeaking who a
How
lesbian
do we make
is.
Kelly Lynch into a lesbian?
Right.
Give her a fucking do-rag.
And a really big motorcycle jacket. And go.
So, he sets about. Obviously, you know where this is going. He's going to fall in love with the Sherilyn Fenn character and have his secret unearthed by the Kelly Lynch character,
Yep.
and it's all going to backfire on everybody and probably end with a happy ending or something like that. Right?
Look, we
you
thought.
can make up your assumptions on how the movie's going to go, but
Right.
there's also this like weird subplot about the world of like Billy Baldwin as a sex worker. So,
Yeah.
like,
Which, again, cool, but...
Joe Pantoliano is his pimp, who also operates a sex phone.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Phone sex.
A phone sex bank.
line.
And it was awesome.
Which they have this great scene early on, where Billy Baldwin goes to visit Joe Pants at
Joey
the
Pants.
at the sex worker line and the sex worker phone line, and they're like, there's like women and men just doing their low breathy sexy talk. And then Joe Pants just walks through every scene going, "Hey, Joey, come here! Joey, come on!"
You hear that in the background where you're trying to be all sexy.
Yeah, there's like people like on the phone like jerking off at that point, and all they can hear in the back, they've got this person talking to them on the phone who's talking them off,
Yeah.
and in the background, "Hey, Joey, come here! Come here, Joe!
Just feel the penis go right back inside. Never mind, I'll call you later. Good Christ.
Is that how you think penises work?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That's what Dad told me.
Then they curl up and go back inside.
I mean, oh, now I can see it. I guess
That's a bad image. That's a bad image.
It's like when the house falls on the Wicked Witch, and the shoes fold back up.
Oh no.
Isn't that how penises work?
Oh no. Oh no, it's in my head now.
That's the next T-shirt. Wait, this is why we need a Patreon, you guys, right there. Oh, can I mention the other
Yeah.
shit? I had another T-shirt idea. Because Fuzzy said it first. They said the line in the film. What was it in reference to? Because they were fighting, right? Is this like Sherilyn Fenn and Kelly Lynch's character? Weren't they fighting? Or no?
Were they fight? No.
No,
During the
was this-
breakup scene?
Was it in that scene? Or was it later on in the bar with Tawny Kitane's star against the wall?
Well, Sherilyn Fenn wasn't in that scene.
That's true.
She was in the scene after they go to the art show.
But she's like, I'm not just some...
Oh, it was the scene with her and her sister.
Oh, right! And her sister said,
I'm not just some
bitch from Connecticut. And we laughed so hard. Like, that's like such a great fucking line.
I'm your sister. I'm not just some bitch from Connecticut.
I'd take the sister part off. And just like, I'm not just some bitch from Connecticut. I think that opens it wide up to people. Because you can think anything you want. It's like, oh yeah, I know those Connecticut bitches. So yeah, we need our Patreon. Again, if you want to know what our Patreon is, it's stapled up to my tree outside. Please come give us money so I can make that T-shirt.
The sister plays a very minor role in this movie, but she also just has some like things that she just adds to the movie for no good fucking reason.
Total cunt. I don't want my sister to be a lesbian. Ooh, here comes a hot guy. Shove her off onto that. That's now how love works, apparently.
You're not a character. You don't get to play this role.
Ouch.
The casualness with which,
Yeah.
like, the shame that people have about having gay people in their homes is
Yeah.
so, or their families is so palpable throughout this movie. Like,
Well-
Kelly Lynch doesn't want to doesn't want to go to her sister's wedding alone. She was going to take her girlfriend, but apparently they were just going to be friends, I guess, at the wedding.
Right.
Because she ends up taking Billy Baldwin, paying him to be her date. And, like, everybody loves him, and do you know why they love him? It's because he's, gorgeous and charismatic, but also because he's confirming that she's not gay.
Right, exactly.
And we're all so happy. We thought she was gay.
Oh, you guys, everything's normal again. Isn't this wonderful?
We can be a family again.
Great day for everyone.
Great day for straight America.
I
Another
know
win.
Everyone's going to tell us we're overthinking that.
I don't think
but
so.
No, that is you're underthinking it because that is the casual message here throughout.
Yeah.
The Sherilyn Fenn character gets it from her sister too, or like with her sister is so excited that she's seeing a man.
Yeah.
And it's like she's going to reunite the family now.
Yeah, right. We can all finally have a decent Christmas this
Now
year.
you'll be allowed back in Connecticut.
Oh! You're not just some bitch from Connecticut.
I'm kidding. I don't know how inclusive Connecticut is. Or isn't. I'm just saying.
Hey, Connecticut, nothing wrong with you. Until
As far as I know,
comes out.
I don't know how many don't say gay bills you have in
Yeah.
Connecticut, so let's throw that out for a
Right,
moment.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think that part of it is what pissed me off the most. Because it's just like, again, and I know, early 90s, but, after watching something like The Crying Game, when you can see, like, real representation, this, even like when they're at the lesbian bar, it's like, oh, these are the lesbians? This is Donna from accounting over here? Like, it's and again, very white, and they all dress with blazers with huge shoulder pads, and I'm like, that just doesn't represent, I think, anybody from that period of time at all. That's it looked like an after work outing. I'm sorry.
Well, and that's fine though. Let normalize.
But
I'm
no,
all about
that's
normalizing,
not.
but,
But
like,
that's not how this works. It's not how that works. They made it look. It didn't look real. Like I couldn't immerse myself into that because also they're playing pool and I fucking hate pool.
But then they all stop to dance, to have a big dance scene.
to fire out of nowhere. And like when you said, you're like, this is the first time they've ever heard this. It's like a big hit in '93 all of a sudden.
They seem very surprised by this song coming on, and then they're like singing it after their leave. Like, why didn't anybody ever tell us this existed before? It's amazing.
They're out there singing it in the middle of the street like it's a brand new hit.
Weird magic of Ohio players. Where did this come from?
Let's be honest. I mean, it is magical. I love that song. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I guess that's just, to me. I don't think films like this do right by the gay or lesbian culture. To me, it felt disingenuous. It didn't feel.
It was definitely using that as just a put on
Right.
for the plot for sure.
Right.
Like, I think I think somebody will, they're probably pitched this idea as being modern because it has lesbians. In
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's the twist. Like, because any other movie, this would star two men and a woman, and
Yeah.
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 Then they'd be two bros walking off together at the end. Like,
Brooks.
we couldn't fool her this time. We'll get her next time, Joe.
Dude Bros the film right there.
I get Dude Bros the film at school. I don't need it around here, too.
No shit.
So MJ, your enjoyment of this movie what stood out to you most besides Billy Baldwin's nipples?
I would say the flip-flopping of... First she was okay with... or first she was, like, really wanting him to go out with
Right.
her ex-girlfriend. And then she didn't want that to happen. And then she did. It was a lot of flip-flopping.
Yeah, you're talking about the Kelly Lynch character.
Yes.
Connie.
Yes, Connie was just very back and forth with it.
It's an inconsistent character, yeah. She also, like, disappears for, like, a large portion of the movie, too, which is very odd. Like, she's the plot driver. She begins the plot of the film, and she's kicking off and she's the big part of it. And then, like, when they're going through that whole... Was it F. Murray Abraham?
That's what I thought it was.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
F. Murray Abraham's character comes in and is like this guy, Harvey, who wants to kick the shit out of William Baldwin for reasons.
Reasons. None of us knew.
No, we have a
movie's
vague
very-
idea,
yeah.
but
That gets so dramatic in this movie that is like so, at times, like so ridiculously light comic. Then they just introduce all this dramatic shit. Like he has the pimp and he's having a conflict because he no longer wants to be a sex worker anymore, and he wants to, I guess, be like monogamous now.
Yeah.
Which I just didn't buy any
Nope.
of that
Neither.
as being authentic at all. Nothing against Billy Baldwin. It's just like nothing about that felt true. It
No.
felt like that was just you, like a screenwriter, just like, I gotta drag this thing out. I don't have anything more beyond this sitcom premise.
It felt also like very rushed, this relationship between he and Sherilyn Fenn.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was way too fast
Yeah.
for me.
Like they slept together for the first time, and he's like whispering, "I love you."
Oh my god. P.S. Can we just say they had one Sting song, and damn it, they were gonna use it.
We're gonna use-
Fucking Shaping My Heart, my ass. What pisses me off is that, can we confirm this? Was it actually Joe Jackson who actually did the score for the film?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because if so, you're fucking Joe Jackson. You're an excellent writer, an excellent musician. Why the fuck wouldn't you have, like, original songs in this film? That pissed me off, but then that's just the music purist in me.
Joe Jackson, well known for the single "Steppin' Out," among many other things.
One of the best, but yeah. So it was him.
If it was, I don't know. I haven't seen yet.
I swear. Or just that, if that is the case, fuck you, Joe. You could have done better.
like you expect
It
more.
was a
Right.
it was a terrible score. I
Oh,
mean,
terrible.
But the whole sound mix on this thing is terrible. Like,
That kicked off the film, too, which really pissed you off.
the sound mix on this movie, like, I know that you want to have the New York street sounds for, like, the authenticity, but, like, you have to mic your characters.
Stop miking the shoes. You know? Somebody really wanted those shoes.
The star of the opening of this movie is background noise.
Because you know why? Because New York, it's a completely separate character in this film. That's the beauty of it.
In fairness, this could be like the DVD rip or like the,
That's true.
trying to adapt to a modern television. Like they'll adapt the pan and scan, or like they'll they adapt to the screen, but not the sound apparently because
no. They could just refoley it, which would be nice. I think they could do that. I'd appreciate it.
Anyway, it was terrible throughout, though. It was like, it's bad in that scene, but it was terrible.
Well, and also
throughout.
when you're
It was like-
instructing your actors to whisper, I can't hear you. And then they did a whole scene outside of a door that, luckily, I just happened to have my bell tone turned up, so I could catch even part of that conversation.
But again, yeah, it's buried so much in the sound mix.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
Because, again, you want to get that New York street sound in there.
Wait, this took place in New York? Because I didn't get Joey Pants being more New York in this film than he really was.
Joey, come here!
Joey! Come here! Sorry about your orgasm. We'll try again later.
Don't worry, it keeps him on the phone longer. It's fine.
It's the job I want, though. I dress for the job that I want. So, anyway, okay, so, fuck your sound design in this film.
But it,
Fuck your soundtrack.
Fuck the weird approach to like trying to make this dramatic, like that whole drum. Like it's supposed to be. It's a one time like it's a comedy. It's this lighthearted comedy, and then other times it's like this. It wants to be treated seriously, like a serious drama. Like there's serious things at stake here between these characters, and dramatically between the three of them. Yes, there's a lot of like comic book or sitcomic conflict going on, but
right.
like which again is very light. But then you have this like life and death thing where this Harvey guy is going to murder William Baldwin for reasons.
Again, reasons. Okay, was it just me, or please correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like the first portion of the film, lighthearted comedy.
Yeah.
You know where this is going to go. And of course, in the third act, you're going to have that conflict. That makes sense. But it was the second half of the film that went, like, no, we're a drama now. It felt uneven.
Yeah, it changed too drastically right in the middle.
Mm-hmm. So we had that flip, and then you also have like the flip-floppings of the characters. It's just, would you make up your mind what kind of film you're trying to be here? Because I didn't understand it. There was no tone that stayed consistent throughout the film.
Well, then you have the dynamic. Let's get going to the main dynamic. The supposedly three main characters are, William Baldwin, Sherilyn Fenn, Kelly Lynch. Mm-hmm. William Baldwin has this pretty great chemistry with Kelly Lynch.
Absolutely.
Like unforced, funny. They're having a great time together. Mm-hmm. He has no chemistry whatsoever with Sherilyn Fenn, other than what they force him to have.
And that's why we didn't buy it at all. They didn't make sense together. Again, the whole "I love you" like after one fuck, it's like, guess we're getting married now.
What was their second date?
But their first fuck.
They'd known each other for about 2 weeks,
that
maybe.
Sex may have been just
most.
Phenomenal, I guess. But I mean,
well, he does have a magic dick. We've established
He does. Underneath all that rug hair.
I feel like she can't have enjoyed it too much having rug burn.
You know what? I'm just gonna wear my shirt during this one. Okay. I don't need the chafing.
Apologies to hairy people everywhere. We're
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, I mean, I again love Billy Baldwin. I think he's cool. But this, I mean, there's so much hair. And like he would shave, and I'm like, what's the point? It's gonna have it back in like an hour, plus more. Just, let your garden grow, dude. I get it. Just leave it. I need to look up to see what he looks like now.
He can't win with you. It's like
I know.
You're too hairy. You're not hairy enough.
You're not hairy enough. Joey Pants. Star of this film. Speaking of Joey, again, was it a rug on the top of his head?
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
it just looked like it was like being pushed forth.
No, if you look at a Risky Business era photo of Joe, he's got less hair than he does in this movie.
See, again, he started balding when he was 10, just receding that hairline back and back.
The work that they did into making it, because he's still losing his hair in this movie, and yet they still they still managed to find something that they could like shape up onto his head.
It was like candy floss, but it was red and weird.
Distracting.
Yeah,
Distracting is a
give
good
me a
word for
hat
it.
like he wore in The Matrix. Just pop again. He's a pimp. You should have like a whole like boa on top of your head. You know,
Just
feathers.
embrace being a bald king, as they say.
You know what? I've heard that. For the first
to
time,
quote your
I
generation. But
What about a bald queen?
I'm just going to tell you this though: if you call me a short king, I'm going to cry. I will cry. There's no. I'm an average height. I'm 5'9". I'm average height.
Sing it, short king.
If you call me a short king, I will cry.
I
say.
really do not understand who thought that was a good idea to start. It was not.
I don't know.
It was not
I
you.
Was just
No.
I was just minding my business, scrolling Facebook yesterday, and I saw this podcast was talking about the movie Throw Mama from the Train, and they described it as two short kings trying to kill Anne Ramsey.
No.
Yeah. Because it's Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito.
I get Danny DeVito, but
He's
he's a
close to
bit-
my height, and I'm again not.
short king.
I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with it.
It's like short king.
And height is so weird right now because it's like there are skyscrapers
Yeah.
and
then
there are
there's-
mushrooms. Like,
Jesus.
My mushroom king.
Are you actually calling people mushrooms?
Wow.
I'm short, okay? I'm shorter than half of the kids that I meet on a daily basis.
It's how
there are
it's
12-year-olds that are towering over me.
telling you. I feel like you've been thinking I was a mushroom for most of your life, though. Did Amy ever grow out of kindergarten?
In all
Short
honesty,
queen.
in all honesty, we've all been avoiding the thing because we think it's a slur, so we can't refer to you that way.
Oh, really? I'm all for slurs if they're directed at me, but not anyone else.
We're trying to care for your community. This is sensitivity to them.
Finally, I can have my own flag. I'm so ready for this. You'll help me design it. We'll get it done. No, short queen. I'm happy with that. 4'11", and I'm not getting any taller. Speaking of not getting any taller, how tall is Joey Pants?
I have no idea.
He looks kind of short in this film.
I don't
Maybe.
know. But William Baldwin's like 6'1", 6'2", or something.
Yeah,
so he's going to make
tall
everybody.
king.
And then Kelly Lynch is super tall as well.
Yeah. Tall queen. Although now I think I'm about like RuPaul. Like, so that's like, I can't use that. You're not a tall queen. Trixie Mattel, now that's a tall queen. And I'm here for it. Speaking of which, it would be nice to have like a good drag queen in this film. You know, I just like round out the characters. Because I didn't like anything really about this film.
No, because I mean, I want to go back to something. So, talking about sort of this, a part of film history and a part of cultural history is that there used to be a genre, and maybe it still is, but I'm sure it's probably frowned upon today. But legitimately, people would refer to a drama as a subgenre, seduce and destroy. Where the plot of the movie is someone trying to seduce and destroy someone. It's a genre. It's not.
I think I've seen it used as a plot device. Not entirely sure it's
But
an
it's
entire
never-
premise.
It's never okay.
No.
But it's so casually referred to.
Seduce and destroy.
Yeah.
There's another t-shirt.
No, I was like, I mean, it goes back to like Dangerous Liaisons was a seduce and destroy movie.
Totally.
Cruel Intentions, which is a takeoff of the other movie I just mentioned. Dangerous Liaisons is a seduce and destroy movie. Like and it was so casually referred to back in the day. Like, this is normal. This is what people do. You seduce somebody, you destroy them, and then you learn a valuable lesson about yourself.
Oh, lovely. You can use people as devices.
Well, is that not what Sherilyn Fenn's character is here? She exists to teach lessons to the other characters about this is not okay what you're doing.
Right.
Literally, but then they don't learn the lesson. And somehow they're still friends. friends in the end, and they're like, yeah, one of us will get her. I mean,
Why don't you give me some tips about how to get it back, huh?
So bad.
I'll tell you what, I'll date her this time, and then I'll break her heart, and she'll go back to you. What do you say? It's hilarious. Yeah, that's great. Why don't you just completely make all her decisions for her, and just completely just destroy her emotionally, so she can't trust any human being in the future? That's great. I'm sure she'll want to be with both of you.
and
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
to the credit of the film, she doesn't end up with either of them. She tells both of them to go fuck right off, which is
Yeah.
exactly what she should do, because
Yes.
this is a seriously fucked up thing to do to somebody. And the movie is just totally like, here's our heroes. Oh, no. What are they like?
See, I was impressed that it went that way. I really thought it was going to go the other way.
Right?
Throughout the movie, I continuously thought that they were going to end in a throuple. I really thought that is where this was going to go.
They did shoot the ending where she stops the cab and lets him in.
Oh.
That was an alternate ending to this movie. She stops the cab. Sherilyn Fenn's riding away in a cab, and he's chasing after the cab, running like he's going to catch a car.
Makes total
Brilliant,
sense.
brilliant character. This, and she doesn't stop in the movie. In the final cut, she keeps going and makes the smart decision that anyone should in this scenario.
Yeah.
But they did shoot the other ending where she stops the car and forgives him and takes him back. Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to see that movie, though. Terrible.
No. Just, no.
And so this is how Roger Ebert writes about
I wondered, yeah, you brought this up.
Roger Ebert's his opening paragraph of this movie is going to blow your mind with how it's such a generational difference. He's much older. He was older than us. I mean, like, he was our age when we were born.
Right, right.
So it's a completely different perspective and different worldview.
Yeah.
Three of Hearts would have made a terrific 1930s screwball comedy. No. No, it wouldn't.
No, I don't think it's
Just no, it wouldn't, Roger.
I love screwball comedies.
There's nothing. No. Except the subject matter would have caused apoplexy among the movie censors of the era. Fair enough. It's about a lesbian whose bisexual girlfriend walks out on her, and about how she hires a male escort to seduce and abandon the girlfriend, who will then presumably hate men so much she'll come back home again.
Screwball. Toying with
so
people's
wacky.
emotions. What a crazy film.
Ah.
What do you like? Disagree.
What especially as melodramatic and shitty as this movie gets in the middle about, the whole subplot about the guy who wants to kill him and beats the shit out of him. He ends up in the hospital getting kicked the shit kicked out of him. That's how they decide to unite the plots between Sherilyn Fenn and Kelly Lynch. Kelly Lynch is like, I hired this guy. That's how I know him. I hired him to sleep with you so you'd come back with me.
Beyond that, like, right before he gets his ass kicked,
Yeah.
right before, she's kicking him out of her apartment. Kelly Lynch is kicking
Right.
him out like, dude, you slept with my girl.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Get out.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, he's getting his ass beat in her apartment. And then she's like, no, not my Joey. You just want to kill him like 10 minutes ago. The fuck?
That doesn't mean she actually wants him dead.
Be consistent, though.
It was a quick flip of the switch to her being back on his side. But then she barely knows this guy too. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another guy that says, I'm just going to stay with you for a couple of days because my apartment's all ransacked. And it's like 2 months later. We're still fucking here? Get out. Lazy bones.
Get a new
It wasn't-
apartment.
Yeah. Right. You're a sex worker. You're making like $7,000.
it was only like 2 weeks. Like, literally, it was less. This movie takes place over the course of 2 weeks, and these people become lifetime friends who fall in love immediately.
That's weird.
It is weird. That's why I'm pointing it out. That's the whole point of pointing it out. No, it's like I lost the plot here, but
We all did. Can we talk a minute about how they set up the tripod and just kept recording themselves? We have to cover that eventually.
That is a weird through line through this movie. Is like, so like they keep showing Kelly Lynch to her entire character for a certain point is just her eating various different foods out of a pot and watching this video of her and Cheryl and Fenn in Better Times. And at first she's holding the camera and they're being playful and funny. And then you see at a certain point they're both on camera, which means they've gotten out a tripod and have set it up. And then you see Kelly Lynch essentially topless in bed with her, and is like, oh, she's watching their sex tape.
I mean, they had to be, because they were like all like, you know, in the afterglow and shit, and they're talking like, I love you.
Yeah, so she's just been like chowing down carbs, watching her and her ex-girlfriend's sex tape, and the movie doesn't find this strange at all. And then Billy Baldwin comes in while she's doing it, and just nobody blinks.
Yeah,
this is whatever.
It's normal. It's totally normal.
To the point where though they get to the end of the movie, and I don't know if you guys caught this or not because we didn't seem to comment on it at the time. Kelly Lynch, he's moved on now. He's moved out of her apartment, and he's staying in a place of his own apparently.
Right.
And she's bringing him his stuff. And she hands him his stuff, and inside is a videotape. And the implication is that this videotape is the sex tape of her and her girlfriend together. She has given it to Billy Baldwin.
That's what that was?
That's what that was!
I thought it was something else.
What do you think about it?
I thought she said, she said something like, I had a date with her, and he was just like, and then he said, or she said, to return her stuff.
Right.
So I think that it was her. It was the other girl stuff.
Her name is Ellen.
I got the impression she was giving it to him. It's a very weird thing. Why are you giving this to him? Because you seem to hand it to him.
I don't know. That was weird.
I know that maybe they want to establish that she gave up the tape because it was like her, you know, some kind of empowering I'm over my sadness thing or whatever.
That's what I would do.
I'm not sad anymore. I don't want her anymore. I got over her, so I'll help her. I'll go back and fuck her, and so she can come back to you.
Like, really
who are we?
Just, I mean,
what kind of?
Look at us.
Look at us. Always scheming. Always scheming. Weird side notes.
Yeah.
So, movies, again, they still do it today sometimes, like where they'll just be very, very lazy and not like follow up. Like they'll have a non sequitur that is so fucked up, and everybody will just kind of pass over it, like, yeah, I know what that's like, or they'll just laugh at it because it's weird, but I don't really want to know the backstory. Like, I was watching a movie the other day where, like, these two guys are talking, and the implication that the one guy makes to the other guy about the relationship that he's having with his girlfriend is that he's just going to go home and rape her.
Oh God!
And they're both laughing about it, just bantering. Like,
is Ari gross in that movie?
like his wife's not been in the mood lately, so I'm just gonna go home, and you know what I'm gonna have to do. And they're like, hello, and the scene ends, you know, and it's
like I saw that in like an Neil Breen film. He beats up his wife, and then he's like, just kidding, what'd you make for dinner? I mean, that's a real scene.
So this movie, and I know they're tossing this off as a joke, and they don't want to think about this. They want to just toss off something that's going to make you laugh and just keep moving. And if you stop and pause and think about it, it's so fucked up. So Kelly Lynch is asking William Baldwin about his sex work, about what he does, and she's like, "How much money do you make?" And he's like, "I can make up to $5,000 a night."
Oh, I thought it was like,
she's like, "What do you do for $5,000?" It's like, "I had to dress up like a Cub Scout."
I physically retched after that.
Like,
that was one of the worst things I have ever heard. And really, like, that's your kink? That's your kink?
That is
little boys in shorts?
That is so severely fucked up. And the movie just glosses over that. Like, this is a normal thing to joke about.
I mean, say, I had to have a fake phallus shoved up my asshole. Like, that would be believable.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's at least something
That-
more normal.
Right,
And
that-
not
that you'd expect to get paid
severely
for.
disturbing.
Right. Like, and again, like, you're dressing up like a Boy Scout, like a Cub Scout.
Yeah.
Okay, so for how long do you have to wear that outfit? And when does the arousal happen?
But also, how do you feel about the fact that the person you're with is turned on by this
I
song?
know, that's the point!
Like-
Seriously.
What the fuck? For some reason, Billy Baldwin also makes numerous references to MacGyver as if he's never seen MacGyver.
Totally. Now, do you know who MacGyver is?
I barely do.
Okay. So, the show, like, and this guy was, like, he was so skilled at taking, like, a paper clip, a tampon, and maybe a tire from a car, making a bomb.
Yes.
That's MacGyver.
Like he can get himself out of any situation
Yeah.
using just what's
right
immediately
in front
in the
of him.
room. That's the trope.
But
Yes.
every reference that he made to MacGyver had nothing to do with
Makes
MacGyver.
sense.
It was
even
really-
it makes
related-
even less sense now. that I'm
Right.
hearing that,
He's
yeah.
relating it to sex work. And it's like, I don't, nothing against, Richard Dean Anderson. There's nothing sexy at all about, like, in terms of MacGyver the show is
Yeah.
just not sexy at all.
Right.
Like him, he's a big, handsome, muscular dude with a mullet that I'm sure people of the time found incredible. Mm-hmm. Like, in terms of what he does in the show, I don't think he ever has sex with anybody on the show.
If he does, it's
think
not
he's, like-
any of our business.
He's fetishized, like women see him shirtless and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and that the fan service is there, but like, it's not a sexy show. So how I get that the movie is again trying to go for sort of a non sequitur gag, but it's just not working. Either Billy Baldwin's not delivering this correctly, or Kelly Lynch isn't reacting to it properly.
or neither. No one's ever heard of
Nobody's ever
MacGyver.
heard of MacGyver.
Because like, thinking about like likening MacGyver to sex work, I guess it's like this is what you got to work with. Here's a chair, here's a fork, and a diaper. What are you gonna do? You know.
Well, I guess finding what you can and using what you got. That's kind of similar, but
Okay, now we have to go off on a tangent that absolutely no. So, I called Amy last night. I was watching
Half asleep.
I was watching a completely different movie. So I'm writing a book about horror movies in the 90s, and I'm watching this film called The First Power, and it has one of these lines in it that is just blew my mind, and I couldn't figure it out, and then I did. It was so sad.
You did figure it out?
I was on the phone with
Oh,
you
that's
when I
right,
figured
we
it out.
did. Yeah.
So the scene is a heroin addict has murdered a detective. He was possessed by a serial killer at the time. But now he's in the jail, he's being held, he's being questioned about why he did this. And he is nonverbal, he's a heroin addict, so he's kind of out of it. And as the detective Logan, Lou Diamond Phillips' character, enters the scene, his fellow detective says to him, I don't know, Joe, he's not going to give you anything. He's ready for the salad bar.
And that's what woke me up, and I could never sleep after.
I don't know, Joe, he's ready for the salad bar.
And so the whole thing comes down to, ultimately, he's a vegetable.
really?
Yeah.
It was a very
then.
colorful way of saying he's a vegetable.
Yeah. Not very kind.
Colorful.
He's ready for the salad bar.
Colorful. It's a colorful way of saying it.
It's a great line, though. If used in a different film.
Also, his character is not named. His character name is Rust, and I don't know why he calls him Joe or John. I don't know. That's kind of a weird throwaway thing in the movie.
It's like they forgot his name like
I don't know,
halfway
John.
through the film.
He's ready for the salad bar.
Did this take place in Boston? I hope it did.
I don't know. It's in L.A. for some reason.
Yeah.
And that guy talks like every New York detective.
That's a salad bar. That's
He's ready
like
for the salad bar.
Boston, right there. Boston transplant to LA. I bet they love him there.
Yeah, the lines like that though just kind of will throw me off for no good reason.
They're just not timeless.
No.
I guess is what you're saying. With good rape.
There's a great line in this movie that also kind of took all of us out of the movie for a little bit. We just started having to Google shit just because, like, it's such a vivid image, and a credit to the screenwriter for coming up with vivid imagery. I'm gonna wear his balls as a necklace.
And yes, Walmart does sell them on their website for $17.98. Big old cock and balls. Enjoy. Many different types. Gold, silver, bronze. Whatever you're looking for.
And fuck you, Walmart. You won't carry certain records
Right.
that have those words in them. But I can buy
Cock
a
and balls.
penis and balls necklace.
Yeah. And don't think no one is getting one of those for Christmas. from
Fully
me.
bedazzled.
Uh-huh.
Fully bedazzled.
Shimmery. Veiny. Supple. You're welcome. This is why you do the podcast with us, isn't it? This is why.
No, it's just MJ ruining their next birthday.
It's like, not around my the rest of my family.
I think your dad would like it.
That's another thing.
He would be
I gotta bring this up.
funny and disturbed by that.
I agree. Yeah.
No, they're at the wedding, right? Billy Baldwin and Kelly Lynch are at the wedding, and the sister who's getting married, Kelly Lynch's sister's getting married, she jumps up on stage and starts taking off her clothes, and the entire crowd is cheering, and just look up at the screen and go, that's your family! You're doing this in front of your family!
It's supposed to be like a very
So
Polish
weird.
wedding, but I've never seen like Polish strippers at a wedding, especially the bride. Very strange.
My daughter's taking her clothes off!
Nothing was more disturbing though when they went. So Billy Baldwin and Ellen, played by what's her name?
Sherilyn Fenn.
Yes, that one. I just call her Twin Peaks. They went on this weird date to like this kind of art kind of
Avant-garde play.
liturgical dance kind of weird thing, like that took place in like a hot tub. I couldn't even tell. Looked like a big bowl of something.
And they're giggling, and
Yeah, they're giggling and they're having a great time. But what really threw me off in this was right behind them was this little, like, had to be 12 years old. This 12-year-old girl with this gigantic funeral hat on.
like she was at the fucking Kentucky Derby.
Yeah! And I couldn't stop looking at her because she looked so sad. And then the hat was down over her eyes. It's like, yeah, I can't do this either. I get it. Give me one of those hats. That hat was a fucking saucer.
Why do that?
I don't know.
I think that's such sloppy, like, approach to filmmaking that'll take me out of a scene. And I mean that seriously. Like,
Yeah.
when you're a director, when you're a production designer, you're actually looking for things like that to not put in the scene, or to put in the scene if you want to draw attention to it. If it's something if you're trying to pull focus away from your actors, you'll throw something weird into the background. But if you want us to focus on the main thing, which is William Baldwin and Sherilyn Fenn, you don't put a giant distracting hat on a child right behind them
12-year-old.
that is making everybody go, what the fuck is that child doing here? First of all, contextually, this is like an adult's art show. This avant-garde
Clearly.
musical play that's happening, not necessarily where you'd take a 12-year-old child. A beautiful, tow-headed blonde child
Right.
with a giant fucking hat on.
Giant fucking funeral hat. Like, Derby, yes, entirely. Or like, the Queen's funeral.
If it's
You know?
if you think it's something that people 30 years later will sit and talk about on a podcast, don't
Don't do
put it in
it.
your movie.
Don't do it!
We're more interested in this now than we were in your fucking movie. You know,
Or make a sequel about that young girl.
Yes.
about the journey of the hat,
About the journey of the hat. I agree.
the avant-garde journey of the hat, told exclusively through music and dance.
And that just keeps blowing away from each owner.
I'd like to see. So that little girl was probably our age now, like close to our age.
Yeah.
Make a film about that. How she grew up and she never took the hat off. She still has the hat,
And
but
she
she's not allowed to take the hat
can't
off.
take it off like ever.
Like it's
She
cursed.
showers in the hat.
You're getting into like Great Expectations territory now with Mrs. Dinsmore.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's so sad. Aw.
She's in her mansion. She never changes her dress that she danced at her wedding with, and the giant fucking hat.
See, that's what I want to be when I'm getting older. Like, that's exactly what I want to do. I wear my first communion dress, just walk around the house, lighting candles,
Paying Ethan Hawke to just be there.
but paying Ethan Hawke just to stare at me, or maybe even to write some odd poetry about me while I'm just walking about.
And then
Eating
have him
cakes in the rain.
have him seduced and destroyed by MJ.
I'd love that. We have our film. Ethan, call us. Well, we got to find a part for Jurgen in that film, though.
Yeah.
Every film.
In
What did
every
we
film.
do with Jurgen in that film?
It doesn't matter. He's like set dressing. He's just a beautiful man. We'll just put him right there. We'll just have him smoking like the corner, like
Maybe,
watching.
or maybe like he could be like the butler. Like,
In the Great Expectations with Ethan Hawke, his dad is a fisherman, I believe. So I mean, you can have
Jurgen.
He's
right
played
there.
a captain in a number of movies.
I'm-
How was your bingo card on this one?
we had plenty of moisture.
yes.
I didn't call bingo, even though we had sexy sax,
With the sexual sax.
moisture,
Moisture.
Token black person.
token black person who was very saucy, very sassy.
One person of color.
One person of color.
One person of color in the film.
So that's 4. Ooh, we might have a bingo. Actually, we might have a bingo. We need one more. One more. I just feel like there's something there that we're missing.
Viscerally uncomfortable sex scenes.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
I like
that's-
that one.
that's one.
That one.
Because there's a scene where Billy Baldwin he goes out on a date with Karen,
Oh.
with one of his clients. It's just this awful human being.
She's a horrible
This
human
is
being.
an awful, terrible person. She's probably the one who made him dress up like a Cub Scout.
I know.
Honestly.
Her name was Donna in the film.
Donna, excuse me. You guys referred to her as Karen, so I just assumed that was the character name.
You know, she's full like rich lady Chanel outfits. You know, definitely getting that Botox, but missing part of her jowls. It wasn't sexy. And then that whole scene, and then there's like that bodysuit with the fishnets, and she keeps snapping at Billy.
What did she want him to do at that moment? Like,
She's on the phone,
Yeah.
yeah.
talking about shit, and then she's just growing.
I think she was calling for a foot massage.
Ugh.
I think.
Ugh. That was none of our business.
No.
Well, why did that first scene though go on so long?
I don't know.
Why did we have to establish so long that scene of him enacting his job as a sex worker? Like, what did that add to the movie or add to his character?
It could have so much easily just been alluded to
Yeah.
the entire time.
Well, they already
Like,
had.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
So there's no reason to...
You called that out a few times, actually. MJ, you kept seeing like things as like, we didn't need that.
Yeah,
Why
it
was
was
that in
like-
the film? There was a couple of like those little like, oh, now I can't think. Right toward the beginning of the film, and you called it, and it's like that's true. These dumb little things that could have been cutting room floor. Make more room for Tawny Kitane's characters. You know. Sorry,
Girl-
Tawny. I was here for you.
Justice for Girl in Bar.
Indeed. Oh, there's my
Woman-
another. That's
woman
another
in bar.
T-shirt.
Woman in Bar.
Telling you. That's why we need a Patreon right here. 90s hand job. I've already designed that T-shirt, so that'll be up there soon. No 90s hand job in this film, though.
No, there wasn't.
And you'd think, well,
Well,
attempt.
almost
There was an
happened.
attempt
There was an
because she
attempt.
unzipped his pants, and he's
Yes.
like, nope,
Ah,
nope.
So it was
Then
an
she did.
incomplete.
90s hand job.
yeah.
Let's go.
What you're missing is the forehead wipe.
I know you have to have the forehead. Well, he would have had to wipe her forehead. The thing,
Oh.
you know. Oh,
What do you
That's
think?
all new.
What do you think of the sexual dynamic of this movie? Of there is a lot of like, I would say contemporary use of like having a man be the sex object as opposed to the women being a sex object.
You've seen it before, though.
In '93,
No, before that. You like American Gigolo and shit like that? I mean, we've seen this before. And, you know, honestly, they chose a good actor for it. I thought his job was believable. Just, you know, other things weren't. Yeah, because, I mean, I immediately, when they went into the phone bank, my brain went to Girl 6. Which a lot of people don't remember that movie, but of course, fantastic Prince soundtrack. But, I mean... And usually that's what we see. But in that film, too, like, they had the women, they're just on the phone, but they're scantily clad, you know, dressed and that kind of thing. I did kind of like the office culture of this sex phone bank.
on the phone sex.
Like, there's a water cooler over
It's
here.
very casual. Yeah,
Very, very casual.
Everybody looks like a secretary.
Everybody is like the guidance counselor's secretary. Every one of them. Every
Like one of them looks like Lily Tomlin as the phone operator.
Yes!
Like,
Oh, yes!
I swear to my god, one of them was like pulling things out of the wall and plugging them back in and connecting people.
It's like, man, we have real phones now. We don't need to keep doing that. Let me connect you. It's not how that works.
Phone sex. Tamara speaking. Who are you calling for?
Let me transfer you.
Carol, line 6.
Oh, she's in a good mood, so you can have a good hand job.
She's gonna make you come. I hope you got a towel ready.
I think it's a strawberry lube day for you. How about that? Poor MJ. Like, just some days you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
So there was a thing before the internet where they called phone sex.
Pick up the
There
phone.
used to be.
Yes.
It used to be sex was not so easily obtainable just by clicking one fucking word on the internet.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, like, remember that scene in Misfits where Nathan's looking and he's talking on the phone to that lady. He's like, so is this really you that I'm talking to? Do you get training for that? And the lady's like all like spread legged and everything. That's what we were used to. Like, and the commercials back in the day were so that
Bizarre, non sequitur.
Bizarre.
They're still like, I guess these phone lines still do exist, and you can still kind of
Still?
I watched it. So one of my favorite things in the world is this wrestling channel, Cultaholic. They talk about wrestling news, but they have also like they'll just do some weird, fun stuff. Like when you lose the pay-per-view predictions contest, you have to do something weird. And one time, Ross, one of the guys on the show, lost, and he had to call a phone sex line. But the caveat was that he could only speak to the phone sex operator using wrestling terms. And she's just playing along the entire time, and he's just coming up with he's
Like half Nelson, full Nelson kind of things?
Stone Cold Stunners. Time to go to the finish. It's an incredibly hilarious video.
I love wrestling references with sex. That's fantastic.
I have
What
to
a
show
great
it
idea.
to you when we're done with this because it's so
absolutely.
funny.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
But yeah, those do still exist. There's still a place in the world for them, apparently.
I think that's awesome because I've been looking for a job for ages. It pays well. What is our what's next week for us? Do we know?
Oh, fuck, I haven't even checked.
We need to check that.
The first movie of May of 1993, this will be. Oh, but first, though, I wanted you to play a little game
Oh shit.
of guess who was going to be in this movie or maybe going to be in this movie. So think about it for a moment. In terms of your lead actors who are available in 1993, who would you think either sought this role or didn't get this role?
It seems impossible, but I mean, let's face it. Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is not on the list.
Not on the list.
Not on the list.
Well, okay. Let me think. Richard Grieco.
Richard Grieco is a good shout. Not on this list.
Damn it.
It's not a long list on the men's side.
Okay.
In fact, there's only one name on the men's side. And there's a story for this.
Oh, shit.
So this actor lobbied for the role of Joe Casella to the point where they actually rewrote the script to present their own ideas to producers.
Oh, I can't wait.
The name of this actor is Robert Downey Jr.
Fuck off!
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what year did Two Girls and a Guy come out then?
Not too long. That was
like-
early 2005,
Okay.
maybe. Yeah.
That was actually a
Yeah.
good movie. But,
it was not.
I liked it. But, I mean, the idea, that story, you know, like you're in the
He
middle
definitely,
of
yeah, he
this.
comes back around and tries to do this story again.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if this is some kind of weird kink room session with
Oh
him
my
now.
God.
You've just unlocked something here with that reference.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
My brain is still broken.
It's okay, honey. Iron Man can't hurt you back then. I just remember
That's how
that
much he loved this idea.
he was still in a drug haze at the time. Okay.
Now,
It wasn't all there.
there were a number of women considered for both the roles of Ellen and Connie.
Oh God. Heather Graham. Now that was already in my head.
Heather Graham is still a few years off.
Okay.
We're still a few years away from her.
Okay.
So people who turned down the role, played by Sherilyn Fenn, Elizabeth Perkins,
Yeah.
and Madonna.
Yeah.
Because I gotta be in Body of Evidence. You don't understand.
I'm already fucking
Like,
busy.
I can't do your movie.
I've got a wave
I've
of
got
moisture
body-
about to hit me in the tits. Willem Dafoe's abnormally large cock is in my future.
The number of people are just so strange.
So was okay. Anybody else?
For the role of Connie,
Yeah.
the people who passed on it: Elizabeth McGovern, Demi Moore,
Yeah.
because she had to be in Indecent Proposal,
She was busy.
and Bridget Fonda passed on that role.
I actually would have liked to have seen her in it. I love Bridget Fonda.
I believe all three of them turned it down because of the do-rags. I'm thinking,
Well, let's face it. I mean, Bridget Fonda, in Singles the year before, she was already wearing the little leather jacket and that kind of thing. But it was very Seattle. Mm-hmm. And she didn't have to wear a do-rag, thank God.
a little bit of extra trivia just to make everything a little extra creepy.
Oh, no.
During filming, the relationship between Sherilyn Fenn and director Yurek Bugiewicz became strained because she refused to appear nude, even though she'd performed nude scenes in the film Boxing Helena just the year before.
Right.
I'm surprised you've recovered from me telling you what Boxing Helena is.
You had to make that reference and then just fuzzy on. What? God, that fucking movie.
Sherilyn Fenn's like, yeah, I'll show my tits for the movie that's like going to Sundance. I'm not doing that for this piece of shit.
No. Well, I mean, let's weigh your options.
But then she also has a sex scene with like a fucking monster in a vampire movie like year before this too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, you gotta be picky.
Not saying I side with the director because he's an asshole. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
If a woman tells you she doesn't want to take her clothes off for you, you just basically just back down. Back down.
Yeah.
I
mean, again, this is...
No one is nude in this movie, right?
No
There's
one.
no nudity.
No, they're never nude in this film. They're never nudes. Which is weird because he's a sex worker, so that's pretty fucked up.
You're very close in the opening scene to seeing Little Billy Baldwin.
Little Billy Baldwin.
Little bit.
We saw a little bit too much of Donna as well.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's uncomfortable.
We glossed over that opening scene, though. The opening scene of this movie is him having phone sex with someone in the bathtub.
In the bathtub, yeah.
And Joey Pants calls him.
On the other line.
Like, he's in the midst of giving this woman an orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
And his party line clicks and he's like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
What? No.
No!
We are in the middle of business right now.
This is a transaction I paid for.
I have my fingers on my clitoris right now. I am this close to finishing.
Hang on, that's my boss. Yeah. No, I did get on the line, yeah.
He has the audacity to get off that call and then pick up the other one and try to start again.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you're there? Did you get the ice? Yeah, I did, you motherfucker.
Click.
Click. I would have done the same thing. Fuck you. Fuck you.
You can't back out of that at that moment.
No,
Don't answer
absolutely
your
not.
other line at that moment.
No.
We're very busy. We're up to no good.
It's not good.
It's not good. It's not right. It's not right. Oh, this fucking film. Yeah. I mean, we've seen worse, let's face
Yeah.
it. I mean, it just, and not like that, but like a minute felt like an hour sometimes with this movie. So, that's just me.
It was a very long movie.
Yeah.
Because that subplot just took for fucking ever.
Yeah.
There was no reason for it to have a subplot,
Right.
in my
No.
opinion.
Fuck
it was
off
just
with
like,
that subplot.
Come on, just do the main thing.
Yeah.
Just-
You've got your premise, you've got your characters, you set the table with that. Stick with that. I know you want to add in the sex stuff as a kind of a conflict for him to build his character, but you don't need it.
You don't need it.
It's not needed. Now, granted, it shortens your movie, but we would love for you to shorten your movie because it's
Please
way
do.
too long.
This would have been a great short film. And the tone wouldn't have shifted so weirdly. You know what I mean? Keep it consistent. Well, I don't know. People aren't consistent in the 90s.
So next week, it's hard to say what to go with. There's no real obvious choice. Because I think you know the movie American Heart
I do know the movie.
with Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
I don't want to do that.
No.
That looks like homework.
I have the DVD if you need to watch it. At least you don't have to pay for it. But yeah.
Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. Much Ado About Nothing. Kenneth Branagh, Denzel Washington, Sean Robert Thomas, Leonard,
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves,
Oh,
Michael Keaton.
I loved that movie.
Okay.
I did. But then again, it's like you really have to love Shakespeare and you have to know what's going on in it, so...
So let me tell you the premise of the next movie. You don't say anything. The premise of this movie is a comedy in which the President of the United States becomes incapacitated. So all of his people come together and they find a guy who is just kind of a rando off the street who looks like the president, and they make him the president.
Is this Dave?
Dave! Yay! Starring Kevin Kline and Sigourney Weaver.
I love Dave. I thought it was a great movie. It was cute.
That sounds funny.
Yeah. I mean, he looks just like the president. But what's weird is that he plays both roles.
That might explain
It might explain why it looks like him.
So
But
Dave?
Kevin Kline, the voice of Mr. Fischoeder.
Oh, hey!
There you go.
So,
Okay.
Dave?
Yeah, I think Dave. I think we'll do Dave.
It's Dave.
Much Ado About Nothing is it's going to be too much for if you don't like iambic pentameter and all that kind of thing. You're going to get annoyed. So, I love it. Everybody should go watch it. So, yeah.
All right, next
Dave.
week is Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.